I've been living on this bus. It was 75 days with no electricity. If you fuck up level 10, you respond level 12.
Flip mode. 9-7. Bus on bus. Hot shit. Check it out.
Hiya. Welcome to my bus conversion, my bus project. I will apologise right now. This is not a bus tour. You will get a bus tour next week, but this is not the bus tour. This is basically this is my own mental health, my own mental clarity. Just a bit of an update, and I need to say some things. I started this bus conversion project about 2 years ago. Really wanted to build myself a tiny home school bus. I had a fairly modest budget and a fairly modest timeline. Bit ambitious looking back, but I was looking at a few buses, didn't find anything that I was comfortable with, and then kind of off chance on a separate trip, I went to look at this bus. It was brilliant bus in brilliant condition. This bus cost as much as my entire budget for the project was initially. So I, under the guidance and advice of a very close, very good friend, very smart, very intelligent, very clever, heavy duty mechanic, my friend Tim, he strongly advised me to buy this bus because it was a smoking deal for what it was at the time. So I did, I did some negotiations, and I kind of got an inspection and made sure everything was fine, and then I went ahead and bit the bullet and bought this bus. But again, it cost the initial budget for my entire project. So I then had to come up with a new budget, new timeline, new expectations, new plans, and all the rest of it. And that kind of has exacerbated. That kind of has prolonged the build. So last year I started a new job. I was working away a lot. I was working like 4 weeks on, 2 weeks off, which financially was very beneficial. But like in terms of like personal time and time for projects, just left me with very little. I was working 4 weeks on, and I would work between like 12 and 16-hour days, 10, 14, 16-hour days for 4 weeks at a time, and then come back for 2 weeks rest. And on my 2 weeks off, most of the time, I was so shattered that I could barely get out of bed and make a cup of tea, let alone be like a plumber and carpenter and electrician and engineer and like project manager and subcontractor and all the rest of it. So yeah, that didn't provide me with a lot of time to work on the bus. As I said, I've owned the bus for about 2 years. I probably actually only worked on it for about 16, maybe 14 or 16 weeks in total. So yeah. I took some time off in June because I was going to really push ahead with some projects. There was a space that I had kind of lined up to do some work on the bus, and the landlord just decided that they didn't want to rent it out anymore, which kind of left me in the lurch a bit last minute. But with their landlord, that's their decision. They that's up to them. So I decided to get solar installed on the bus so that I could work on the bus remotely, work on it off grid, and charge my power tools and make myself tea and coffee and everything using the solar power. Now I've dealt with a lot of delays over the last year. I think as a fallout from COVID, well done to all of us for getting through that initial couple of years of COVID. We probably have another couple of years to go, let's be honest. But I had ordered a specialty roll of insulation. I ordered. It took 3 weeks to travel across Canada, and then when it did arrive, they had only sent me half the amount that I ordered, and then it was completely sold out across Canada. So we had to hunt and search for a replacement, and that was an ordeal. Electrical wiring that I ordered again took weeks and weeks to arrive. I contacted the company, and they basically said, "Oh, sorry, we forgot to send it out." So that was a thing. I ordered lights for the interior of the bus. I ordered 3 packets of 4, as listed on the website. They sent me 3 individual lights, and when I contacted them, they said, "Oh no, we don't sell packs of 4. We only sell them individually," even though the price was clearly for a packet of 4. And then they told me they didn't have any others of the one I wanted. So it was just supply chain logistics, delays after delays after delays. If you are a professional builder or contractor, I don't know how you're dealing with all of this stuff, but well done to you. Anyway, so I ordered solar for the bus with the idea that it would help me to work on it kind of off grid, just wherever I was, and that turned out to be by ordering solar or ordering this solar equipment was the worst purchase experience I've ever had. Ever. The worst customer service experience I've ever had. let's jump up on the roof so that you can see the solar panels, and we'll kind of start there and see if it makes sense. I don't know how smoothly this transition is going to be, but we'll try it. We'll try it. Give me a moment while I try not to fall off the roof or drop my phone off the roof. Christ, what a terrible idea that was. Yeah, I will just take a moment to appreciate. This is where I'm currently parked. I spent like 5-6 nights a week on my bus for the last 2 weeks in this area. Massive shout out to the guy who manages this area. I've known him for a couple of years. Basically just had a quick chat, and he said, look, no noise, no drugs, no garbage, no problems. And I was like, we are sorted, mate. Yeah, really decent guy. How do I do this? Let me see if I can. This is the new phone, so I'm not sure how it works. Hey, yup. So yeah, those solar panels on the roof of my bus. And again, this is where I'm currently set up. Amazing. Yeah. So yeah, solar panels on the roof of my bus. I've got 6 times 200. What? Is that a frog? I don't know if you can hear that. Anyway, I've got 6 times 200 watt solar panels on my bus, so 1200 watts total, which is quite a substantial amount. But I've done that so that if there are times in the winter where I don't have a lot of sunlight, I'll still have hopefully some enough charging capabilities. So yeah, basically, in terms of ordering solar, I ordered solar panels, a charge controller, batteries, and inverter. And I got an electrician to come out and install my solar. He had previously been an industrial electrician, so really knew his stuff. Really intelligent guy. Just massive shout out to all the trade workers, tradespeople, electricians and plumbers and all of those trades. Anyway, so he's done like dozens of these installations, probably hundreds of them, solar, and really great guy. So we got everything installed. It was a very enjoyable process. Solar, although it's a bit technical, is actually not extremely complicated. Also, there's loads of engineers and solar installers out there who will help you out. I'm just going to see if I can set my camera up on this hatch. Nope, that's not going to work. Anyway, so the electrician came out, installed the solar, got everything set up. It went like relatively smoothly. Then we plugged everything in and started to run some tests. And you can just tell by the look on somebody's face that like things aren't going properly. The look on the installer's face, electrician's face, I could just tell something was up. And I just said, look, if it just level with me, tell me what the deal is. And he basically said, I've never seen these errors before, and I can't figure out why. So I can't figure out the chain of events that's trying to happen. I said that's all right. Let's just try and work through it and see what happens. We spent a couple hours, and we could not for the life of us get the system to work smoothly and safely without the error codes. And he basically said, I've never seen this before, but I think the solar controller you have has a couple of faults in it. So you need to contact the company and see if they can suggest something or if they'll send you another one. So I'm just going to duck back inside. It's gorgeous out here right now, but the sun is just absolutely blinding me. So let's try and... Oh, God, that works. Ceiling. There you go. That's why there's no bus tour this week. Yeah, so it was one of these units, the charge controller, that had failed. And so I contacted the company, and I had a couple of issues with them sending me the wrong items previous to this, so I was kind of a bit frustrated already. But I contacted the company. I said, look, the charge controller you sent me has these faults in it. What can you do? And nobody responded for 5, 6, 8 days. 8 days, I think it was, 8 or 10 days. And then when they finally did respond, they basically responded but hadn't understood what I had been trying to tell them. So I messaged them back, but it was another 4 or 5 days before they replied. And again, I've spent thousands of dollars at this point, on this equipment. I've got nothing to show for it. I've got very little response from the company, and I'm starting to get a bit sort of frustrated because I've got work and personal responsibilities and all the rest of it to attend to. So I messaged them. I was trying to explain them, but the likelihood of this error occurring was such a small possibility that I'm not going to say that they didn't believe me, but it took some time for them to kind of process what I had been trying to tell them. And again, that was because the likelihood of this happening was so remote that it took me a while to speak to somebody who had either seen something like this or understood the likelihood of this happening, and could kind of comprehend the likelihood of this happening. So in the end, it took me from the day I ordered to the day I got everything set up and tested, like 2 weeks ago, and equalized and running smoothly. From the day I ordered until the day I got everything running smoothly and tested was like 75 days, which when you're dealing with an online tech company, 75 days might as well be 75 years, in terms of like, it's just absolutely ridiculous. You hashtag first world problems, I will admit. But again, like if you're ordering tech from an online company, 75 days for a like delivery resolution scenario is just absolutely ridiculous. It's also very frustrating because I have them all saved because I had to submit a claim to like the Better Business Bureau and a few other online like consumer advocate places. Basically, I'd sent over 100 emails. I'd spent like hours and hours on the phone with the company, with my bank, trying to see if they could get me a refund, with like a technical support consumer forum. It was just hours and hours and hours of my time. Literally 100 emails I sent this company. Literally 100 emails, which is ridiculous. If you have a company or a business, if you have a customer who's having a significant issue, and I understand that a lot of times it's user error, like it just is, or user misunderstanding. I've dealt with a lot of those. But regardless, if you have a customer who's having a significant issue, then you have to respond. Your response has to be as significant as the issue the customer is having. And if that means that you have to send them a free product and take back the one they have, then that's what you do. If you have a good product, a good business model, these things should be happening so very, very rarely that it shouldn't affect your revenue, your profit, all the rest of it. But basically, I've worked in customer service for many, many years. And if when you screw up, and this company had screwed up, they'd sent me some of the wrong products, then they sent me damaged products. The lithium battery was overcharged, and that's just dangerous. That's it. I mean, if you see any of the articles about lithium batteries exploding, in the last couple of years, that's kind of where we're at. And it's a big lithium battery too. Anyway, I spent a lot of time working in customer service, and as a company, when you fuck up, your response has to exceed the amount that you fucked up. So if you fuck up for a customer to a level 9, you have to respond level 11. That's the law of the land. That's what it is. And again, if you have a good business model, you have good products, you good employees, good systems, it shouldn't be happening a lot. It might happen once or twice a year or once or twice a month, depending on the scale of your company. But if you fuck up level 10, you respond level 12. And they didn't for a very long time. They did eventually. But yeah, it was just a nightmare. So yeah, from the day I ordered until I got everything equalized about 10 days ago, it was 75 days with no electricity. I've been living on this bus for the last 2 weeks, and I'm massively behind. I spent about $4,000. I spent over $4,000 on this system, including installation. And I'm not saying that to brag. I'm saying it because I was at a point where, like 2 months later, I had spent $4,000. I had nothing to show for it. I had to cancel trips to see friends and family. I had to cancel some courses I was going to take. I missed out on some work opportunities. I was $4,000 out of pocket. I had nothing to show for it. I didn't have anywhere proper to live because this was going to be my place to live. And so it's like I was down $4,000 with nothing to show for it. I didn't then want to spend money on rent and all the rest of it. I didn't buy other items that I was going to install on the bus because I didn't know how long this was going to take to resolve, and if there was going to be any resolution, or if I was just a sucker who was out $4,000 from this company. So yeah, like I said, from the day I ordered, from the day the items arrived, it was 62 days with no electricity. And again, I've been living on this bus for the last couple of weeks, which is like, it's comfortable, but like I don't have water hooked up because I didn't get the water pump because I didn't have electricity. I haven't what else? I don't have lights. I have one. Sorry, that's not true. I have one light installed, but I was going to install 8 or 10 lights in the bus, and I don't have those. I couldn't get them because of shipping problems, but now I haven't ordered other ones because I didn't know if I was going to have electricity or anything to work. It's been a bit of a nightmare. So basically, so I call it 75 days without electricity because that's the day that I ordered the products. But 75 days without electricity and living on this bus has been a massive challenge the last 2 weeks. I completely fell out of love with this project because of this debacle. Again, it was the amount of time it took, the amount of money I invested, the lack of response, the frustration. 100 emails I sent. Literally, I have them saved because I had to submit them. 100 emails I sent. I completely fell out of love with this project. I told my sisters, I told very close friends that I was going to sell the bus because I was just completely done with it. I was just massively over it. Anyway, I haven't. I've got it and I'm back in love with it. Very quickly, we've got passenger seats, fridge. That is my kitchen coming together. This is my sink, shower area coming together. And back where we started is my, you see my queen bed behind me. And then I've got windows, triple glazing out the back of the bus. So I've got lovely views there. And then you currently join me on my, on my sofa, futon flip up storage thing, my laptop, all the rest of it. So it has been an ordeal. Excuse me. But I am now, I'm going to spill a cup of tea everywhere. I am now back in love with my bus. I do love it. I'm very glad that I've persevered with it despite all the challenges. And that's just kind of where I'm at. You can see my ceiling is completely unfinished. It's sealed and it holds in the heat very well, but it does need some covering. So anyway, thank you very much for your time. I will do a bus tour next week because I have had quite a few. Well, not quite a few. I've had 2 questions about it. Let's be honest. For those of you asking, nobody's asking. No, I have had a couple of questions. So I will do a bus tour next week. But this basically was just, I don't know, just my own sanity, just kind of a bit of an update, clear the air. If there's a takeaway, whoever you work for, wherever you work, if you fuck up for a customer, just admit that you fucked up, just own it and respond in kind. So again, if you work for a business, if you own a business, if you have a business, if you're in business, I think just as a general rule, if you fuck up level 10, just respond level 12 and just make it right. Because otherwise there's going to be somebody on the other end getting really, really frustrated. Anyway, not frustrated anymore. I've really enjoyed living on my bus for the last 2 weeks. I've watched a few films on my tablet. I've been able to use my laptop. Cooking is fairly basic at the moment, but I do have a kettle. I can make tea, coffee. I've made myself some soup and noodles and all the rest of it. So I do love my bus again. I am in love with this bus project. I'm really, really glad I've gone down the road. There will be a bus tour next week, but for now, we'll just say a big cheers and stay healthy, stay happy, share your happiness, and we'll speak to you soon.
9-7. Bus. Hot shit. Check it out. Hit you with no delaying of what you saying, yo.